People class, welcome to today's review of my two master grade Banshees. Firstly, we got the regular release and then we have Banshee Norn. So before I get too deep into anything, I want to say I cannot rotate these guys because they are hand grenades. I mean, just trying to put them together, the bat skirts are falling off, the waist can't stand still, the legs are a little off center, the arms are kind of loose. Everything on the master grade Banshee or just the unicorn frames are showing their age, and I don't want that to be a deterrent, so let me explain why. So first reason why is that if you're ever going to spend money on a Banshee, I highly recommend P Bandai. And yes, he's scratchy, as you guys saying the short that has somehow reached 25,000 plus views. Firstly, thank you for that, but the reason why is because I'm going to customize him. As you guys can see, he has the posable hands. The way that I did that was I just got these hands from a thruster set. All I did was cut off that ball joint and I put this one on there. And then the other thing is that I locked it with glue, so those ones unfortunately can't tilt up and down because even with the other Verkas that use it, their wrist strength is very low, so I don't really keep it on there. The other reason why I highly recommend him other than the other one is firstly, he comes with the bazooka, he comes with the backpack that I'll get into later, and he comes with the DE shield. So let's compare him to the original. Just so you guys know, this is like a 3-year-old kit that I've had. Both of these are old. I think I got them at the same time actually, of where I didn't like the neck length and I wanted him to be able to do that, so I did extend it. It's not the prettiest, but I was planning to do more with it and I didn't. And the reason why he's missing the hands is because these are already ball joints I was showing you guys earlier. I already have the hands ready, I just need to do it so I can get some poses with him. But going off of that, I also highly recommend just the base Banshee, but I really can only recommend any unicorn kit beyond what I like if you are willing to customize them, because again, these are some old kits. I built I think 6 of these guys in all honesty, all of them off of this frame, but especially with the high grades, real grades and other ones I built, I've just really gotten used to it, so I had a whole bag of parts. So if you see missing parts, the parts that he's missing were in there and then I threw them out because I didn't know what I was missing until now, so please excuse that. But main reason I say to get the regular Banshee is one, you get enough parts to make a basic shield. And is it the best shield? No. I mean, when I go into unicorn mode, it's not the best shield out there, but it's good enough. And then also you get the arms, the railgun, and you get the base guy. It's like, if you really want to, like what I did here is that I just got the MGEX unicorn and then gave him his extra beam rifle and rocket launcher and shield. So it's kind of you pick and choose whatever you want to put on them. One thing I do have to say about them before I get into anything else is firstly, as you guys can see, everybody who has built a unicorn kit has that problem. The horns don't connect, so the reason why they don't connect is because you have to push down the top bit a certain amount and you have to push everything else to fit together, but then the problem is as soon as you move it, you have to do it again. So it's literally like, unless you glue it, there is no way to fix that gap, unfortunately, which I'm fine with it. I'm used to it. I've been building it for 10 years at this point, which is weird to say, so I just go with the flow. Another thing I would highly suggest you be wary of if you're going to buy these kits is watch out for the butt skirts and everything that attaches to the butt skirts. They are loose. I would say glue it, but as I'll get into later, you might want to do some poses with it to where, like with the beam rifle, you don't want to have the extra ammo pads or whatever put on. If you want to do a shooting scene where he's grabbing it, you want to take it off, but you know, it's your kit. Last thing before I move on is that all unicorn feet suck. I'll get into why later. So for posing this guy in overall opinion, again, my first actual favorite Gundam, well, other than Epion, because that was the first toy I was ever able to hold, and the Gundam that really got me into it was Banshee. So my first higher grade I ever built was Banshee. The first master grade that I built was the Reezy G, and then I built this guy right afterwards. And then all the other things that really got me into Gundam were thanks to Banshee, especially how he came in just straight from the sky and just had one of the best entrances in any Gundam show that I've ever seen. So Banshee is definitely, heck, like even if you know my old name is Banshee 2911, I loved him. But now it's just that I've kind of gotten out of Gundam. It's cool to have, but I've just kind of gone into Marvel and some other things that you've seen. So I will go over the posability. So because of the extended neck, he can go up quite a bit. He can get a full 360, and everything else beyond here is the same, so I won't do posability on the other guy, but he can raise his arm a little bit 90. Again, this one is weaker, so unfortunately he can't really hold it, but just that little bit of a droop, not a problem. Once you build yours, don't worry about it at all. Full 360 in the arm, a full 360 bicep without this piece. The elbow bend is a little weird, so if you bend it from the top joint first, you can get up to about there. Then if you bend it from the bottom joint, you can get way more. It's weird. It's like you can feel sometimes they're moving from top joint, sometimes you're not. You just have to work with it. And then the hand, 3-1 and thumb, which they're all curved, which is the other reason why I threw them out, because I hated looking at them. Then for the waist, he does have an ab crunch. He should not. This should actually be solid as a brick, but because of the mechanics inside, they're very loose. So again, this is just a thing with all unicorn master grades. They will fall apart and become a hand grenade eventually. You have to be able to be willing to mold these guys once you get them. But for rotation, he can do 360 no problem. And then for the claw arm, he can pretty much bend fingers and stretch them up and down. You get 3 joints. You get 1 in the arm, you get 1 on the outside, another one for the last. So you can get some nice poses, or a nice range of movement, I should say. You can really just close the lion's mouth, which this is. Banshee is supposed to be the lion, unicorn is supposed to be the unicorn, of course. For the leg, he can go up without a problem. Even now, the joint is still very strong, so the hip joints are probably some of the best. Not probably are, wow, tight. Like good tight. Oh my gosh. Going back, he can do more than a lot of kits, a lot of Gundams, a lot of toys, he's good. Very, very good. And then going out, he can do the splits without a problem. I totally forgot how posable this guy was. And a lot of the things that they show, they don't really show his posability, but then again, he's a giant robot, so he's not really supposed to pose out that much. You do get a double jointed knee. So one other thing that I did is that under the pipes, if you see that little gap there, there's not supposed to be showing of there. Cut that out and you get a little bit more posability on both ends. Cut it to where it just touches the pipes. Also, you're going to want to strengthen this T-joint in the butt as well, because if you do not, which I will show with the other one, his legs will never be able to stand straight, so you will always have to have him split-legged. It is annoying. And the leg fell off. Perfect timing. So the reason why I say the feet are the worst is because you got this little flap that can get in the way. It snatches or catches on the toe, which, I mean, you literally just bend it like it's going in story mode, which isn't terrible, but it's just a little bit annoying. And then the way that the joint is that you got a peg that goes into the shin, and then you got one that can help you rotate, and then another one that helps you rotate. The top one, don't worry about rotating that. It just count that as a stiff joint. The bottom one, this is the one where you rotate that, and then the top one can move if it is free. So side to side, you do get a, I want to say, generous amount in comparison to some model kits that, okay, if you have a ball joint, like the ball jointed hip, you can get more, but in terms of unicorn, it's a generous amount. Going down, you get a whole lot. That's the beauty of the double joint. Going up, you don't get that much because these side pieces clash in there. So if you want to fix that, all you have to do is cut the pads off the side of that, extend it, and then you can get far more. I don't know how much more, but also be careful. These, they are loose over time. Every single hinge is loose. It sucks. It's alright. Then for a toe bend, you get none. It's more for the destroy mode, which if you want to consider that a toe bend, I mean, why not? One of the cool things I like about his fist is, or the lion's mouth, is that it is actually a sort of puzzle. So like I was saying, you got 3 joints, so move the joint that's inside the armor all the way up, and then just pretty much fold it onto itself, and then it is going to tuck into the outside side of the top fang, and then you just line it up and push it in. But because I kind of left there a gap, it ain't gonna be perfect, and I do recommend you to paint these gray or something that can, when it goes into destroy mode, when you activate it, it looks cool. But if you like it like that, just do what you want. And then for the railgun, it is really simple. You just fold it out, and then it does have the option to extend. Also, these are on very, very thin supports. So with this part, all you gotta do is flip it out, and then you can put it on the inside, or just like that as a cover for when it is sheathed on his arm, and then you can get access to the hand. It is pretty cool. It's simple mechanics, but still amazing nonetheless. And then to flip it out, all you do is literally just pull it out the way you pushed it in. It is on a single hinge with the exhaust port, or whatever it's called, on another one to where it lines up perfectly to where you need it, so don't worry about being overextended. And all you gotta do is push it to the top, voila, and then you fold it down, and then boom, you get the railgun. Extended a little bit. Again, these are loose. I shouldn't say loose, they're not on the best connection. I would honestly say if you want to, glue these. I mean, just to here, not the hinge, just glue the pieces together. As long as you can still separate it to where you can get this part off, you'll be just fine. But let's get away from these accessories and get onto the P Bandai version. First, looking at the rifle, this is the best unicorn rifle. I don't care what anyone says. I love this one. I love the colors. I love how it goes from gray to this teal blue. And then with this, it's a little bit snug, which is good. It's on the rail system, so you don't need to worry about that falling out like the perfect grade. And yes, I have the perfect grade. I will review that later. And then he has a little cover on the top of his rocket launcher, so you can take this out, and then he has a little empty slot for you to put in his deployable beam saber. And also the beam effect on this thing is wicked. That is nice. Very expressive. I love it. Also, he can hold it if you see notches in there on the old hand, because it is so small and so old that after you put it into any of these holes for a little bit, they will just pop out, break. I shouldn't say break, but in a sense break, because he cannot hold it. It's like the perfect grade. You hold it out here for a bit, you tap it, it falls out. So unfortunately, I highly recommend you to mod it. If you want to glue it, if you want to get 2 Banshees and sacrifice it. One of them holds this gun, and then the other pair just is for the beam rifle. I highly recommend that, but I totally did this wrong. You put the 3 in first, and then you put the cover over it, and then you slide this in, and voila. Look at that. Now it is a whole beam weapon, and it is, I love this. The sucky thing about it, it's weak. Very weak. So if you had any joint tighteners, some paint, some glue, a little bit on these 2 thin bars here to thicken it up, and then voila, you got a nice tight joint that will gladly and happily hold the magazine in. But even if you don't shake it, just like this whole kit, just don't shake it. You gotta put it on the stand, make sure everything is supported, and then you can kind of be comfortable in saying that it's safe. I was literally just gonna hold it and say, now for the main show, let's hope that he doesn't fall apart. As soon as I stood him up, his back fell off. So I have to say that the presence alone on this guy, just without a beam rifle in his other hand, I mean, even if I attach it, which it also can be done, but again, it's just heavy, so I would not recommend leaving it in there for a bit. And I'm just leaving it on the front just for an example. He has presence. Don't leave it on the front, that looks hideous. Leave it on the back. Oh, he can hold everything, but you can see how the waist definitely tips back. He has presence. He can hold everything. It's just gorgeous. If you want P Bandai Banshee, I just do say, get the Norn. He is amazing. I'll go into the backpack, the rocket launcher, and the shield in a little bit, but I just gotta say, I don't regret this purchase. It's like some of the other Marvel figures that I'm reviewing right now. This is my favorite. Oh yeah, here's a size comparison. This is my favorite Venom, and that's my favorite Gundam, and I love it. I love them both. I'm just so happy that I'm willing to take this guy apart again, get a whole new one to replace the parts on both of them so that they're not freaking, missing pieces and stuff. But man, for an old kit, I never thought I would love it so much. I did want to go a little bit more in detail about what I was talking about with the waist. So the waist is held in by this little lock. It's also what, when he goes into destroy mode, the little cycle frame pops out and his sides, that is the piece that keeps it in. But since there's nothing in the front, it's not trustworthy. So I just recommend that it's a piece. You find a way to tighten up the inside. Be careful for that. Also with the butt flaps, they are very loose. loose. I don't know why these guys are so tight, but on the other one they are loose. Maybe because this is such a limited run. Also, the magazines don't like to stay in, man. If you're okay with gluing it, you got 2 whole magazines. I mean, you can. I just might. Jeez, man. If I didn't have so much love for Banshee, I wouldn't recommend it, but I still do. And with the other one, it is in there tight. I mean, it's in there so tight that if I take it out, it might ruin the joint. But anyways, getting into the backpack and the bazooka, I have to say that I love it. Also, this might be the unicorns. I'm thinking about it. But maybe not because giant seam line I sanded there. But it is awesome. It does collapse, and I love how the backpack opens up. Again, if you have the perfect grade, you have the master grade. It's just that the perfect grade is tighter, but you also gotta think that with the leg, the size, the weight, and everything, of course you can't hold the poses like you can in the master grade, especially like I was showing you with the hits. The hits are still strong after 3 years, man. That's the best part about it. I really gotta learn how to keep that up. And then these are very, very posable. I mean, they can go all the way around. I mean, they would be able to do a full 360 if the backpack, of course, wasn't in the way. But just like the perfect grade, you get a beautiful range of motion. And there are stickers under there, but I didn't do it because it looked ugly. So if you want it to look better, do it. Also, fill in those gaps, please. Man, they're little tiny things that I get why they did it. But like, you know, you could have made this one whole piece. But of course, maybe a runner or something will run through the middle and ruin the design, so I get it. But going into the bazooka, you do get a nice little handle that does fold up beautifully, and then the little tab in the back that closes like that. And then with the ammo clip or the rockets, come on, you do get nice detail. Really, really nice detail with a beautiful top, beautiful front, bottom. I mean, it's like, can ammo clips really get that detailed? Yes. Do they need to be? No. But I'm happy that they did it. And then with this, it does slide to close. So that is also beautiful. The handle does move. Does it actually move? Never mind, it doesn't. Then the barrel does extend and collapse for storage, which can it really store that much? No, but it's still better than nothing. And then the barrel is also very smooth. I love the little infrared or whatever sight that is down there. There is just so much detail present in the weapons and options that you can do that I have to say you can't get with other Gundams. And then for the most beautiful part of the kit is a backpack. So like I said before, they're very posable, very flexible. The strong joints, I mean really strong, comfortable, no problem, no stress, no worry joints. Isn't that gorgeous? Isn't this worth the money? I mean, I know it's like an extra 20 bucks, and then you got shipping and taxes from whoever you buy it from, but like, come on, dude. And then the Banshee that's like, well, if I'm gonna spend money, I'm gonna spend my money and get a good amount of extra stuff from it. And it's just, it's beautiful. And then the other way that the beam sabers are held in there, which I do not have, is that in here there is a little tiny, just a swivel. Then it has a little peg, so you can put them in, swivel them out, and voila, you can drag them out. Unfortunately, I cannot show you because I do not have them. I am sorry. And the way to store them, whoops, I keep on forgetting it's again like the, oh, this is something good to show. So one cool thing is that these are guided. They have a kind of rail system. So once you figure out how to put them back in, if I can, they replace the beam saber slots, so you do have to be careful. And I think, okay, I just noticed real nice. So there are tiny little notches on there. So the mouth is supposed to go towards you, or I should say to the back. So you dip it in and then you put it in with a little click and voila. If there is any resistance you put in wrong, and please know that if you damage the clips, this will fall out super easy. I can tell just from the little bit I've played with it. But to store it, turn it in. I recommend you turn both of them in just so that they don't collide. And then where the beam saber slots usually go, like on the regular back of the Banshee, you just slide them in right there. And it's nice and easy without a problem. Now you see what I mean? I damaged it, so now I really gotta be careful with this backpack. And voila. And then to open it, you just do that. If you had a really long long peg, you can stick the bazooka in there so that it can be out more, but I don't like that. Also, I kind of like it looking like this, a little bit open when you put the bazooka in there, like it's wrapping around it, or it's opening, or just like it's so big that I can't contain it. I like that idea. But get it into destroy mode. Before I do that, I totally forgot about the shield. So the shield, again, as I always say, if you have the Master Grade Fenets or the DE expansion parts, it's the same thing. It's just in Banshee's colors, and I did lose the hinge. So it's like I didn't lose the most important parts. I just lost the parts that definitely filled it in. I have to say it's the same thing as the other shield. It's front heavy, definitely. The peg, I wish that there was another one on the other side, secure it more, but it's alright. I had to do this off camera. It was not staying together, especially the faceplate. It was not moving down. And here we go. So I have to say that when I first did this, it was like, oh, that's cool, and then I kept on transforming them, then I left them out, and then I got tired of it. But after doing it again, I have to say that this is one of the most beautiful, if not the most beautiful Gundam, and I'm so happy to say that Banshee is my favorite, and I'm so happy that people are starting to see the value in this dude. He is beautiful, he is worth it. Is he limited in ways? Yes, especially with what I was saying, that you really gotta be willing to customize him in order for him to be stiff, because that's not something you want to see on your shelf. A little tiny shake, a little bump is gonna make him fall and break into a million pieces, and that's not something you want for something that you just paid, you know, $60 just to get, not even mentioning shipping, handling, then taxes that whatever set you use is gonna take. Especially with the tariffs going on right now, he's probably worth more than that. He's probably 120, 130 right now, depending on if he's even in stock. So like, you gotta deal with that. And of course, the beautiful thing I would have to say, one of the main reasons, the only two main reasons I would really recommend to get him, or the option set if you have the basic Banshee. Actually, I just thought of something. I'm gonna swap these arms out and put on the arms for you guys real quick. Oh man, I've wanted to see this from perfect grade version for years. I didn't even think of putting this together until just now, and I have to say, wow. I see why the option says freaking 70 bucks just for the perfect grade, but wow, I love this dude. So here's what he looks like with his rocket bazooka. I have to say that I love it. Unfortunately, because of the size of it, you do have to move the backpack and a little bit of horn, so you can't get some amazing poses like looking down the sights at it, but whoops, you can manage. I have to say that I was firstly shocked that the hands could hold it, but it is still like, I do not like that Banshee with the regular one does not come with weapons, because dude, just this little itty bitty, I mean it's not small in perspective, but just having a rocket launch, man, just look at how much more presence and how much more you can do with him because of that. Here he is with his beam rifle. Of course I have the posable hand, so this is the only way that I can pose him safely, but still gotta say, you can get some amazing poses with him just as he is. And just like the rocket launch launcher. It can be stored on the back, just of course be careful because the hinge system is very loose. If you shake it, it can have the magazine fall out accidentally. And then for the shield, I do have to caution you that because it is so dang big, you have to hold it or else it will take off. That little piece right there, it's not that strong. If you want to glue it, I would say glue it. I mean, it doesn't really serve any purpose. It's not supposed to be like the Perfect Grade Unleashed where it's supposed to flare out. So I would say take a chance. But wow, presence on them is just magnificent in every way. And to get any flying poses, I would highly recommend you to put the backpack on only at that time because it is a single hinge, so it tends to just want to fold back. Of course, if you put the other way, maybe it's gonna be a little bit more safer, but I recommend you to only have them in the flying pose like this with the shield on so that it doesn't bounce back or kind of just, you know, weight down, because again, torso very weak already. And for what Banshee can do on his own without anything on him, it is still quite amazing. If you're okay with only 90-degree bend and you can get a little more toe flexion, it is definitely a model kit for you. I highly recommend it to, let's say, novice or medium level builders, just because you're gonna have to tighten some things, sand some things more than others, put a little bit more work to get some more posability or just strength in the frame. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. God bless and see you next time. Peace.